Division semi-final. Our home game tonight features the visiting Moncton Miracles and your very own 2015-16 NBL Canada champion Halifax Hurricanes. Folks are reminded that for the protection of the players and fans and in the spirit of good sportsmanship, the Hurricanes request that you refrain from going into the court or throwing objects at the participants or game officials. We also remind you that any spectator going into the court or immediate court area or interrupting play in any manner will be ejected from the building. Should you require immediate medical attention, please contact a building security officer or a member of the Scotiabank Center Event staff for assistance. All right, Hurricane fans, put those hands together and make some noise to welcome our #1 fans, Swish and Lil Swish. Now welcome our opponents for the first game of the playoffs, finishing the regular season with a record of 15-25. Welcome the visiting Moncton Miracles. Starting today for Moncton, out of Nevada, welcome 6'5" guard number 7, Malik Story. Welcome 6'6" guard out of Arkansas State, number 13, Melvin Johnson III. Welcome 5'11" guard out of Iowa State, number 23, Corey Lucius. Welcome big man at center, 6'9", out of Southeastern University, number 33, Tim Mitchell. And rounding out the starting squad, 6'7" forward out of Michigan State, number 55, Russell Bird. The Miracles are led by head coach Paul McKesty and assistant coach Matt Robertson.
Too many troubles, all these lovers got you losing control. You like a drug to me.
with a record of 27-13 at the top of the Atlantic Division and reigning NBL champions, your Halifax Hurricanes! Welcome to the floor, 6'2" guard number 2, Taquan Zimmerman. Proud son of Alberta, number 5, welcome 6'3" guard Kenny Ochino. Welcome AUS and CIS record holder, 6'1" guard number 7, Chewy Haywood. On IR tonight, welcome 6'9" center number 9, Coriante Toperi. Also injured tonight, 6'5" small forward, welcome number 10, Mike Poole. Welcome 6'6" forward out of Georgetown, number 15, the electric Aaron Bowen. Welcome the pride of the T-Dot, 6'9" center, number 22, Ronaldo Dixon. The pride of Halifax, welcome 6'8" center, number 24, Anthony Cox. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your East Link starting 5. Out of New Mexico State University, welcome 6'6" power forward number 1, the unstoppable Tyrone Watson. Welcome 6'2" guard out of Auburn, number 14, sharpshooting Antoine Mason. Dangerous on both sides of the court, welcome 6'7" power forward out of Alabama, number 20, CJ Washington. The emotional heart and beast of our squad, welcome 6'8" power forward out of San Diego State, number 23, Billy White. And last but not least, folks, put your hands together for your captain, leading his squad to another Atlantic Division title, 6-foot guard out of DePaul, number 12, Cliff Clinkscales. The Hurricanes are led by head coach Mike Leslie, with assistant coaches Stephen Brown, Chris Tachentine, and Joe Wells. With physiotherapy provided tonight by the Physio Clinic. Ladies and gentlemen, your playoff Halifax Hurricanes! Now, folks, please stand, remove your caps, and join Paige Black in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Something was beeping this time. Oh.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome inside Scotiabank Center for Halifax Hurricanes basketball. It's game number 1 of the first round of the Atlantic Division National Basketball League of Canada playoffs.
For tonight's game,
The Hurricanes take their first step on the journey to winning back-to-back championships tonight as they take on the Moncton Miracles. After finishing 27-13 and 8-1 head-to-head and undefeated here at home versus the Miracles, they are looking to take that very first step to back-to-back championships. I'm Vince Williams, and joining me momentarily is my broadcast partner, Matt Elliott. The Canes slip into the playoffs, finishing the month of April with a disappointing 3-4 record. However, they managed to totally dominate the Miracles in their final and regular season game here at home, 135-110 in the regular season.
Yeah, that's right. As you mentioned, first game of this 5-game series, a best-of-3 series. The Canes with a new look. You see sporting the new jerseys, looking to get off on the right foot going into the playoffs against the Miracles. As you said, the last game they played, you got to think that's on their mind, beating them handily 135-110, but it's also going to be on Moncton's mind as well, looking to exact a little bit of revenge.
And the starting lineups tonight for the Miracles: number 7, Malik Story; number 13, Melvin Johnson III; number 23, Corey Lucius; number 33, Tim Mitchell; and number 55, rounding out the lineup, is Russell Bird. And for the Hurricanes, the defending champions, at point guard, number 12, Cliff Klitschgales; number 14, shooting guard, Antoine Mason; number 1, small forward, Tyrone Watson; and number 23, power forward, Billy White. And the cap is controlled by the Canes. And rounding out the lineup, the big man in the middle, C.J. Washington, number 20. Washington fires for 3 to get it started. Shot short, knocked out of bounds by Watson, and it will be Miracles possession. So coming into this game, Matt, the Hurricanes dominated the Miracles on the regular season, finishing at an 8-1 clip, and the only defeat came on the road at Moncton Coliseum.
Yeah, that's true, and that's obviously going to bring a lot of confidence to Halifax. Coach Leslie will probably do a good job at keeping them not getting too confident, but it's hard not to look past that kind of a record and that kind of dominance all season long.
Traveling call in the first trip down on Russell Bird, and a turnover, not the start Coach Paul McKeskey wanted in this first game of the best of 5 in the first round of the Atlantic Division playoffs. Turnover there by Watson, and Lucius, the Story with the penetration, and he finishes at the rim.
Nice body control by Story on that one to keep Tyrone Watson away from
good blow by, as you mentioned there, and Story's going to be very big tonight. If Moncton's going to steal game 1 here, they at least need to steal 1 game if they're going to try to defeat the number 1 seed.
Yeah, definitely. They'll be relying on Story amongst other guys, but he's one of their prime guys. And it's tough with these 5-game series, really. It's easy to get out of a series quickly. If you lose 1 game, you know, you find yourself with your backs against the rope more so than you would in a 7-game series. And
a good start for the Miracles as Tim Mitchell was able to draw the contact and finish through it. And he'll go to the line to shoot the and 1. So a 4-0 start here, 4-0. 10:39 left in the first quarter. Mitchell looking to complete the 3-point play, and he misses everything. I'm not sure if that's jitters, playoff jitters, or just a sleight of the hand there as Mitchell.
If he had a better free throw percentage, I'd say maybe it was jitters. But
not very good at 45% on the season. Mitchell finished the regular season at 9 points per game for the Miracles. CJ back the other way, can't get the left hand to go, so a very slow and cold start for the Hurricanes in their championship defense.
Yeah, not up to the start they wanted, but I mean, there's plenty of time to get on the rails here.
Shots no good by the Miracles. Racing back the other way are the Canes. Clint Scales looking for the screen for Watson. 2-man game, pick and roll. Inside, and it's turned over. Clint Scales, not a guy that usually turns the ball over, led the league in assist turnover ratio. And coming back the other way is Melvin Johnson III. So a 6-0 run to start this game for the Miracles. Looking very good in the early going of this game here.
Yeah, and a couple of real early turnovers by Halifax in the paint that have accounted for a couple of those points.
Mason short from three ball, and that's rebound by Story.
A great shot there. He was open. Wasn't able to make it drop.
Driving to the basket and looking for the contact is Johnson, the third on Mason, and that'll be Mason's first.
Hurricane foul on Mason, his first team foul, number 2.
Team foul number 1, team foul number 2, and Mason's first. Tonight's officials, Manny States, Paul Hansen, and Brent Stalker. Mitchell trying to go to work on CJ. Nice spin move through the paint, can't get it to go. Rebound by CJ. Canes looking to get on the board here. CJ, nice penetration, blow by and finish at the rim. Outstanding play by CJ Washington as he was able to freeze Mitchell on the baseline with the pump fake and blow by.
Yeah, that great up fake got Mitchell to leave his feet just a little bit. Mitchell being an aggressive defender like he is. It was a smart play by Washington to give himself some space.
Melvin, the third, fires for 3. That shot short, rebound by the Canes, and they'll try to cut back into this lead. 6-2. CJ's shot's blocked in the paint there by Mitchell. Kick back out. Shot clock still dwindling and going under 10 here. Clint Scales got to hurry. Inside the Billy. Nice alley-oop and finish at the rim. Beautiful two-man game between Billy and Clint Scales. And you mentioned we've seen it all season long, these two hooking up in that type of fashion.
Yeah, those two, they've got the connection. We see that at least once a game, it seems, maybe sometimes more, but they really have that court presence between the two of them.
Outstanding chemistry between these two returning players.
That's the word I was looking for.
On that championship run last year, Clint Scales, Billy White, and Ronaldo Dixon, and Russell Bird fires for 3, and he knocks down his first. Bird, outstanding three-point shooter, 505 shots attempts taking on the season, Matt. 355 of those attempts were from downtown and making 126. The guy can shoot it from beyond the arc.
He's no stranger to putting up that 3, that's for sure.
And Watson gets it to go on the baseline. Outstanding play there, as you can see in the replay. Outstanding ball movement and body control by Mason. Dunk's no good, back the other way for the Miracles, and Mason with the easy deuce in transition. And this is what they need, the Hurricanes. They need to get those one-and-dones, get the ball and push it up down the court and get those easy opportunities in transition.
That's right. Halifax bench being as deep as it is, they are primed, and they're a great team running that transition and running that up-tempo offense, and that's when they perform at their best. They usually have a difficult time, especially starting out when they try to start off slow. But as you mentioned there, when they're running and gunning, it's when they're at their best.
And Malik Story was able to knock down a jumper in the mid-range, and he's got 4 on the evening. 3-point lead for the Miracles. 11-8, just under 7 minutes in the first quarter to go. Clint Scales to Watson. Watson penetrating with the blow-by. Go through the contact, can't get it to go, but the putback's there by CJ. And CJ's got 4 on the evening. As you can see in the replay, good blow-by there. Shot short and good follow-up there by CJ.
Yeah,
Bird fires for 3. Shot's no good and rebound. Coming back the other way. Bird knocks it away, and it's another turnover. So that's 2 turnovers for Clint Scales.
Yeah, it looks like he misjudged either where Bird was or how tall he is. But he really didn't have much of a chance at getting that one over top of him.
Story now, going to work. Pull up, way short. Barely hit the rim, rebound by Billy. Clint Scales racing back the other way. And behind the play is Tim Mitchell and Tyrone Watson getting tangled up. And it looks like a double foul on both of them.
Double foul
I missed
on
that.
Tyrone Watson, his first team foul, number 3.
So a missed opportunity in transition by the Hurricanes as they had numbers on that short shot there by Malik Story. A 1-point deficit for the Hurricanes. Just over 6 minutes to go in the first quarter.
I'm going to guess that's not the last time Watson and Mitchell get tangled up. 2 real physical players down there.
Shot is no good by CJ. He's missed everything, and that's his first miss on the evening. And he turns it over to the Miracles. Lucius now back the other way. Bird fires for 3. Bang, and Bird, that's 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. Russell Bird coming off that screen wide open. Can't allow Bird with that wide open look.
No, you don't want to give that sharpshooter the open look. You know they're going to be looking for those screens and get him some space.
Bird now with the rebound, coming back the other way. Melvin Johnson III thought about firing from distance. Johnson III going to work. Pull up, shots off the backboard, rebound by Mitchell. Lots of physicality inside. He's called for the push, and that'll be Mitchell's second personal.
Miracles foul on number 33, Tim Mitchell, his second. Team
Foul trouble
number
forces
2.
Tim Mitchell to the bench as
Immediate
Theo
timeout.
Davis leaps off the Miracle bench, and his first time into the action here this evening. And a timeout on the floor now. 4-point lead for the Miracles. Game 1 of the Atlantic Division semifinals here at Scotiabank Center. Hurricanes and Miracles. Thanks for joining us, folks, wherever you are. I'm Vince Williams, and my broadcast partner, as usual, Matt Elliott with the call courtside. So, Matt, Miracles come into this game with an 8-1 record, really up against it. Last time they were here, they got blasted 135-110. What do you think the mindset is in the early going for them coming into this ballgame?
Well, from what I can see, it looks like they're trying to do stuff a little bit different than they have traditionally when they played against Halifax, which I'm not surprised by given the fact that they've had a losing record against them so far. I think the coach probably want to change things up a little bit. They're probably coming into this with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, not because of success, but a chip on the shoulder because they want to get back into that win column against Halifax. This is a talented Moncton team. It's a good team, better than the record against Halifax would suggest. So they want to come and kind of show that they're actually a force to be reckoned with, and we should be looking over them going into this playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that regular season record, it's all gone by the wayside for both of these squads.
New season.
As it comes down to a best-of-5 series between the two of them. And thus far, the Miracles are doing an outstanding job in their half-court sets. Turn it over a little bit, gave Halifax opportunities to get some easy runs in the open floor in transition. But besides that, they've been pretty solid defensively. See if this holds up. But the Hurricanes, lots of basketball left. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, limped in to the playoffs, finished the month of April at a 3-4 mark. Really didn't have a good Central Division road swing before the start of this playoffs, but looking to right the ship here and try to go back-to-back. Game number 1 of the Atlantic Division semifinals. Number 1 Hurricanes, it's the number 4 Miracles. Mason fires for 3, shots no good, rebound, and putback is good by Watson. So that's the second offensive rebound and the second putback for the Hurricanes. Shots no good back the other way, and Davis in the right spot gets the and one as Watson had no choice but to foul him, but was unable to prevent Davis completing that three-point play, and he'll go to the line to shoot the and one.
Getting back the offensive rebounds for Halifax, that's kind of was one of the things that their bread and butter this season. They're second in the league overall in offensive rebounding. So I expect to see a few more. It's no surprise when you got athletic guys like Billy Washington, C.J. Washington, Billy White, and then you got tough guys like Tyrone Watson crashing the boards. You're going to get some offense.
Theo Davis on the season for the Miracles, and it looks like we got a mix-up here.
Correction.
So it is, that personal is on Tyrone Watson and not Billy White. As Davis, 4 points on the season, 56% free throw shooter. As he's able to get the friendly bounce and finish the three-point play. He's got 3 on the evening. 5-point lead for the Miracles, just under 5 minutes to go here in this first quarter. Mason swings it to Watson. Clint Scales, hesitation, and the teardrop gets it to go. Nice, beautiful floater by Clint Scales as he was able to freeze his defender with the hesitation dribble.
Yeah, Clint Scales is great. One thing he does draw attention when he does cut into the paint. A lot of times guys won't come over to help because they're expecting to look for that dish to the open man, and that worked out in his favor in that case.
Melvin Johnson.
Johnson the third now off the window. Beautiful half-court set by the Miracles as Johnson the third found himself wide open underneath the basket and extends the lead back up. Scales can't get the shot to go, wanted the contact, as Lucius races back the other way. Johnson the third, inside to Davis. Davis can't get it to go. He was bothered there. Great defensive play by CJ in transition.
Yeah, he's had a couple of those where he's got a hand or he's contended at the rim and forced a miss. Travel call.
They force a traveling violation on
Brandon
Billy.
Kearney tapping in for Moncton.
As the double team
on
came
Zimmerman
late by Theo
in for
Davis.
Halifax.
Melvin Johnson the third. Checking into the game for the first time for the Hurricanes is number 2, Taquan Zimmerman. And for the Miracles, number 3, Brandon Kearney. Lucius now off the screen. Johnson the third. Thought about firing from distance. Swings at the Kearney. Kearney, the Lucius. Shot clock dwindling here. He's got to hurry. Lucius fires for 3. Bang, and he connects. And that's the third shot from downtown for the Miracles. As you can see, they like to put it up at a prolific pace, and they're doing a very good job of knocking down the shots. And a beautiful alley-oop connection when Billy White was able to finish with the no-look off the backboard.
Yeah, it was a great finish, but getting back to your point about three-pointers, Moncton, no one takes more three-pointers per game than Moncton, and they've got the best three-point percentage in the league. So yeah, that's one thing you, as a coach and a player, you got to account for that. Zimmerman, there's Watson again.
Clint Scales now pulls it out, new fresh shot clocks. Third opportunity here in this trip down. White fires, shot is no good, but it's rebound by Washington, as there was a collision between him and Melvin Johnson III. As Melvin Johnson III was looking for an over the back. No call though, as the officials are allowing both of these teams play in this game number 1.
They are, yeah, and that was kind of weird the way that one played out. It came down, basically the ball ended up in his lap anyway, so.
22-16, 2:15 left in the first quarter. As Tydran Beatty checks in for the first time, as Theo Davis will go to the bench for Coach Paul McKeskey and the Miracles. Miracles ahead, doing an outstanding job in the first 12 minutes thus far.
Yes, they are. Tydran Beatty, it's a great guy to have coming off of your bench. Talented basketball player.
Definitely no slouch. And a good alley-oop, but he can't finish at the rim between him and Lucius. As Darryl Wong also checks in for the first time for the Miracles. Miracles going small here, this lineup. Playing a 3-2 zone, or a 2-3 zone, excuse me. Matchup zone. Clint Scales fires for 3, rattles in and out. Rebound by Cox. Anthony Cox checking in for the first time. And his first playoff action for the Hurricanes as he gets that rebound.
Great rebound, fan favorite.
On Darryl Wong, his first
Cox doing an outstanding job of battling underneath the basket there with his defender. As the Miracles going small in that 2-3 zone, that matchup zone. As Billy was able to power it at the rim.
Great job squeezing that in the tiny window there. Halifax is hanging in.
Kearney now, shots no good, rebound by Billy. Clint Scales raced back the other way. Clint Scales thought about it, dribble hand off to White. White faces up Wong, kicks it out to Zimmerman. Zimmerman inside of Cox, back out to Zimmerman. Zimmerman blow by, behind the back pass to Watson. Watson thought about pull up. Zimmerman fires and rattles a 3 home. Outstanding half court set by the Hurricanes. Good ball movement and spacing gave Zimmerman that opportunity to rattle home the 3.
Yeah, that's the best half courts that I've seen them play yet. Great ball movement.
Shot short there, and rebound coming back the other way are the Hurricanes. 1 point lead, just under a minute to go in the first quarter. 22-21. Cox trying to go to work on Beatty. Cox loses the handle, knocked out of bounds, and that'll be a turnover, a missed opportunity to take the lead for the very first time this evening for the Hurricanes. So the Miracles looking to extend this 1 point lead. Bird fires for 3. Shot is short and rebound by Zimmerman. Clint Scales looking to push. Dribble handoff to Zimmerman. He thought about it. Kick back out to Clint Scales. Clint Scales inside to Billy. Billy trying to go to work on Wong. Faces him up. Billy inside. Spin move. And he's called for too many steps. Billy not happy with that call, sporting the very bright neon yellow kicks. First time this season we've seen those. They must be the playoff editions,
They
man.
must be, yeah. He had the pink ones before that. Can always rely on Billy for a good set of kicks.
So, Wong's got to go. 2, 3, fires, shots short, no
Nice defense.
good.
Good recovery by Billy on that one to get a hand
It's
up.
a close one.
Absolutely, as
After
Billy
the
was able to
first.
close out and bother
The
Wong
Moncton
on that
Miracles
three-point
22,
attempt.
your
So the
Hurricanes
Hurricanes battle back in the
21.
last 2 minutes to cut the lead to 2. So we finish 12 minutes, 22-21. The Miracles look very good, though, in that first 12 minutes, especially in the early going.
Yeah, they do. They're being aggressive and they're going at Halifax and they're not taking anything for granted. They're clearly not intimidated by Halifax at all, and they're going right at them. And like you said, 22-21, they're looking every bit the better basketball team right now. But Halifax, they've got the depth. There's a lot of basketball game left. This is going to be a good one.
So the Canes trailing by 1 in game number 1 here at Scotiabank Center. It's the Atlantic Division playoffs semifinal, game number 1, Hurricanes and Miracles. Canes finished the regular season as the number 1 seed, repeating as the Atlantic Division champions with a 27-13 mark. 8-1 in head-to-head matchup between them and the Miracles. The Miracles only win coming on the road, coming at home at Moncton Coliseum. So
And
it's
just
game 1 of best of 5, Matt, and both of these teams with some early punches. And both of these teams able to sustain those punches as we got a very close one after 12 minutes.
Yeah, they're going back and forth, and you look at the score, and I'm looking at the shot chart right now for Halifax. For those of you listening at home, you want to take a look at some interesting stats, shot charts, go to the DAX Stats website. But if you look at Halifax in there, all of their points, with the exception of that 1 3-pointer by Taekwon Zimmerman, have been in the paint. So it's clear what their game plan is going in.
Yeah, Halifax shooting a very low percentage, 10%. They're 1 for 10 from downtown compared to 3 for 7 from beyond the arc for the Miracles. Russell Bird knocking down 2 of the 3. And that's what they do. They live and die by the 3-point shot. You mentioned in the first 12 minutes, Bird, total of 505 shots on the season.
As does Halifax live and die by their points in the paint. Their underneath game. They don't have those big centers, but they get a ton of points in the paint every game. And which is why when you go 1 for 10, shooting 3-pointers in a quarter, you should be down. You should be losing by more than 1 point. The reason they're not is because they're so good underneath.
Just starting here in the second quarter, underway. 1-point lead for the Miracles. Miracles with possession. Bird fires for 3 again. A lot of contact shots, no good.
He rolled an ankle.
And that is not a good sign if Russell Bird is hurt. As you mentioned, he might have stepped on Anthony Cox's foot off that extension.
He's going to keep playing, though.
And that's the right ankle for Bird as he's trying to work it out here. He's a very important piece to the Miracles' success as they were able to capture the 4th and final playoff spot down the stretch. And Watson finishes at the rim through the contact on Wong.
He just out-muscled him there.
Good take, as you can see in the replay. He was able to blow by Wong, get him on his back. Finish through the contact, so good penetration there by Tyrone Watson. Watson on the season, 12 points per game, a 72% free-throw shooter. And he misses it and gets his back and a slam, a two-headed flush off the rebound. So a missed assignment and no closeout and blockout on that free throw gives Watson an opportunity to finish at the rim, an emphatic two-hander.
And that's a dream come true, is for a free throw shooter turning a 3-point play into a 4-point play.
Good spin move there by Tydron Beatty. And the Hurricanes with their first lead on the evening, 25-24. Haywood now checking in for the first time for the Canes this evening. And Zimmerman turns it over. Lucius coming back the other way to Kearney, and a nice
two-man game there.
two-man game in transition between Kearney and Lucius, as Kearney was able to finish at the rim with the easy bucket.
Haywood has seen his minutes grow over these last few weeks, especially over the last month of the season, playing significantly more minutes than he was when he first joined the team partway through.
Haywood finishing the season with 8 points per game, 82% from the free throw line, and shooting 43% from beyond the arc.
Dangerous player.
Earning his minutes throughout the season. As Bird and Lucius will go to the bench for the Miracles, and Mitchell and Story will check back. Shot clock winning. Watson's got to fire it, and he misses everything, and that'll be a shot clock violation.
Yes,
I think
sir.
Watson was unaware of how much time was left on the shot clock.
Aaron Cohen in
He
for
had
the
no
good
choice
guy.
but to fire that
didn't
one
know
up
where they
from
were.
beyond the arc.
See what Moncton runs for this set now.
Story inside the Mitchell, and that shot is rejected, but there's contact before the follow through, and that's on Anthony Cox.
Hurricane foul on
Nice
Billy
pass
White.
by Story in the paint.
His second. Team foul number 1. Tim Mitchell.
Mitchell
on the
always
line.
gives Halifax problems. He's that big body.
In correction
There's a
on that foul, it's on Billy White. It's his second, and team number 1, and Mitchell will go to the line. And he banks that one. Last trip we see Mitchell at the free throw line, he missed everything. This time he banks it home. That might be the remedy.
Might be what he needs to do every time. Call that glass.
Unable to get the second to go, a little too strong. It's 1 for 2 in this trip. Mitchell, a 45% free throw shooter on the season. Not very good. Haywood. As the Miracles back to their 2-3 matchup zone. Bowen checking in the game for the first time.
Way downtown.
Zimmerman, bang, and he connects.
Great shot by Zimmerman.
Aqua Zimmerman
Zimmerman
for 3.
Off the rotation, was able to get a clean look at that distance, and he's 2 for 3 from beyond the arc now.
And he's a guy that Moncton does not want to get hot. He had a great season so far, Zimmerman. There's been some talk about him potentially being in the running for Rookie of the Year. We'll see if that happens.
And right on
from
cue.
Downtown.
As Joey Haywood was able to knock down the triple. Mitchell now going to work. Can't get it to go. Rattled in and out. We've got some contact underneath the basket. It looks like
Hurricane
a
foul on Bowen, his first.
reaching foul on Aaron
number 2.
Bowen. And that's his first. Team number 3. 31-27, 8:56 left in the second quarter. And a
Great
5-second
D by
call.
Halifax there. And as a head coach, those type of turnovers have to drive you nuts.
Unable to get that ball in bounds. There's really no excuse at this level
No,
to
sir.
not get it that in bounds, especially in the early going here in the second quarter. You would think that the defensive pressure hasn't been really that outstanding thus far for the Hurricanes or the Miracles.
No, it hasn't. We haven't seen that. Yeah, like you said, they're not exactly lighting it up defensively.
So back-to-back turnovers by both teams gives the Miracles another opportunity here to cut into the 31-27 lead. Story, blow by. Teardrop can't go, rebound by Cox as Cox was able to close out, protect the rim. Bowen back the other way. His shot is rejected by Kearney. As Beatty was able to stop him in his tracks, and Kearney came on the backside, the help side, was able to take out the garbage and knock it out of bounds.
They must have heard us talking with the defense because it was nice defense. Just the same as what I like to see at Halifax as well. You like to see them running that
turnover here.
quick tempo transition offense.
Yeah, and a turnover on that inbound as Billy was double teamed, looked for an open teammate, was able to connect with Joey Haywood, and that's a back and over call, and another turnover in consecutive trips for the Hurricanes, but still leading 31-27, 8:16 left. That's turnover number 9 on the evening for the Canes.
Way too many at this point in the game. Got to think that's something the coach Leslie is going to be addressing at halftime if he doesn't do it in the next time out.
Fires up an ill-advised shot. I don't think he was even square to the rim or even saw the rim. Zimmerman fires again, and bang, he connects it all the way from Sherrill. It's Zimmerman. He's on fire right now, the hot man from that distance.
He's the only one hitting him right now, with the exception of the one from Joey.
He's
Stop and pop
3 for 4 on the evening, 9 points to Zimmerman. Mitchell was able to answer back, 34-29. Bowen turns it over. Kearney coming back the other way. Kearney in transition to Story, and a nice play in transition. Beautiful bounce pass by Story. Excuse me, Kearney, the Story. Timeout on the floor, called by the Hurricanes.
I'm going to bet this has something to do with turnovers, because that's 10 now for the double digits. You have 7-12 left in the still left in the half with 10 turnovers.
And points off of turnovers, 14 on the evening thus far by the Miracles. That has been the difference and the reason why this game is only a 3-point game.
That's right.
Game number 1.
Especially considering Halifax has 0 points off turnovers. That's a big difference, a 12-0 margin. You're right, this would be a different game if it weren't for that.
So Coach Mike Leslie calling a timeout to try to regroup and make some adjustments, especially in their offense. As the turnover starting to pile up. 14 points off those turnovers, 10 in total. 3-point lead, game number 1.
And it's not the way you want to start off your first playoff game of the season, really. Not only the series, but you don't want to get on that kind of a roll where you're playing that basketball, a sloppy type of basketball with turnovers. You don't want to get into a situation where you're relying on the fact that you've got the depth, maybe you've got a more talented team, you get away with it in the first round making all those turnovers, but when you start getting into the finals and the semifinals and stuff like that, especially against a team like London or St. John's, they're really going to make you pay for that.
And folks, just a reminder for the remaining games in this series, game number 2 will be Sunday afternoon here at Scotiabank, and game 3 will go Wednesday, May the 10th, at 7 p.m. at the Moncton Coliseum. And if necessary, game 4, Friday, May 12th at 7 p.m. in Moncton at the Moncton Coliseum. And if necessary, game number 5 will be Sunday, May 14th, 2 o'clock tip-off time here at Scotiabank Center. So back to the action. Quarter number 2, under 7 minutes to go here. 3-point lead for the Hurricanes. Haywood, hesitation, and he is bumped by Johnson III. So will remain Hurricanes possession. It'll be 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Number 2.
Johnson III's first, team number 2. As Ronaldo Dixon checks into the game for the first time for the Hurricanes. Bowen fires for 3 and he connects. So there's the answer coming out of that timeout.
Yes, sir.
For Coach Mike Leslie, as Bowen was able to connect in that half-court set, but giving up an easy bucket back the other way.
Good job of Kearney taking advantage of the slacking D there by Halifax.
Ronaldo a little too late there, closing out and try to bother that shot at the rim. Haywood, dribble, gets it turned over. Another turnover, Story racing back the other way in transition. He can't get it to go as Ronaldo was able to get a good position defensively in transition.
Turnover's not something you see a whole lot from the sure-handed Joey Haywood.
As he got his pocket picked there on that last trip down by Malik Story. Haywood fires, shots no good, rebound by Mitchell.
Nobody there crashing.
Johnson the third, inside the Beatty. Beatty can't get the teardrop to go, and Haywood with the rebound.
Trying to take advantage of a bit of that size differential between Beatty and Haywood, who drew that defensive assignment there.
Zimmerman again almost rattled
In and
home
out.
his fourth triple, as he couldn't get it to go. Johnson the third, hesitation, got it caught on his backside and got it rejected off the backboard by Ronaldo. Bowen tried to pull the hammer down in transition on Mitchell, and he almost got that one to go.
Sure did. And a great job in the other end by Dixon there. He got beat by that first step,
Miracles
but was
foul
able to
on
recover and make a
Brandon
nice
Tierney.
clean block from behind.
Bowen almost was able to
His first
posterize
team foul,
Tim
number
Mitchell in
3.
transition. Contact call
Trying to get on next year's intro highlight reel.
on Tydron Beatty. That's his first, team number 3. Ronaldo now trying to back down Johnson the third, and that's an easy mismatch for the Hurricanes, as Ronaldo was able to beat Johnson the third quite easy and finish at the rim. No rim protection at all on the help line for the Miracles, and forces a timeout called by Coach McKeskey, as Hurricanes go up by 6, 39-33. So adjustments being made right now by the Miracles. Miracles playing a little bit of small ball with the exception of Tim Mitchell in the middle. But it looks like Tim Mitchell a little winded, as you can see in that last trip down defensively, as he was unable to reject Aaron Bowen at the rim.
Yeah, and he's got to be winded. He's been on the whole game, I think. I don't think he's come off yet. He's
Lots of minutes this evening for Tim Mitchell.
Yep.
Usually don't really see him
No, we don't.
get log the amount of minutes, as Coach McKeskey likes to play that small ball.
Yep.
And bring in either a Tydron Beatty or even a Darryl Wong off the bench.
Yep.
And play him at the 5 or the 4 position.
Yep. That's right, and surprised to see as much of Mitchell as we had. He's a great basketball player, and I like watching him play, so it's great from a fan perspective to see him out there. But you got to think, like you said, he's probably getting a little bit gassed, especially with Halifax is constantly putting in new guys from the face, guys that are maybe not as big as him, but they are more athletic than him. He's seen Billy, he's seen Ronaldo, he's seen Tyrone Watson, he's seen them all, right? Anthony Cox, and then Bowen. So, and he's still out the court, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, because there's still a lot of basketball left.
Absolutely, a lot of basketball left in this game number 1 here at Scotiabank Center. Number 1 seed Hurricanes against the number 4 Moncton Miracles. Miracles hanging in the first 12 minutes and a 1-point lead, 22-21. But it's been all Hurricanes thus far in this second quarter. Lucius thought about the shot and gives it to Beatty. Beatty draws a contact and gets that finger roll to go.
Coach Leslie really wanted the charge
Tydron
there.
Beatty.
Beautiful finger roll at the rim through the contact is Tydron Beatty.
I don't think I've seen Coach Leslie jump that high.
Zimmerman fires again and rattles home another 3. And that's number 4 for Taquan Zimmerman. He is 4 for 6 from downtown.
He's got the stroke tonight.
Beatty, hesitation and too many steps, and he's called for the travel.
Russell Bird taps in for Moncton.
As Russell Bird comes back, checks back in for the Miracles.
Great.
CJ can't go to work, can't get it to go. Third, fourth chance opportunity there with the left hand, as Mitchell was able to garner that rebound defensively.
Yeah, nice fight down low by Mitchell. Had Watson and CJ to deal with, and he still came away with it.
Johnson the third now, off the screen. Can't get it to go. He got bothered at the rim by CJ. Flintscales back the other way. Zimmerman pulls up, fires, bang, and no surprise. That's another one, and he hits that all the way from Europe.
He's down in today.
The hot man thus far, that's number 5 on the evening for Zimmerman. He's 5 for 7 from downtown, 15 points thus far on the evening. Lucius, hesitation on Ronaldo.
Halifax now has a 10-point lead, basically off the back of Taquan Zimmerman.
Zimmerman, the hot man thus far, and the high man, 15 points. 5 for 7 from downtown. Some beautiful strokes is Zimmerman. Lucius, pull up, shot is short, he misses everything as the shot clock was dwindling. Had no choice but to force it up, but a beautiful closeout defensively by Clint Scales.
Yeah. Captain playing great tough defense like he always does.
10-point lead, the biggest lead on the evening for the Hurricanes. 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Clint Scales, closely guarded by Lucius, swings it to Watson. Watson inside, he powers away at the rim as Johnson III had no answer defensively.
No, Johnson III, great basketball player, but he just isn't big enough, I don't think. When Watson wants to have his way with him down there, he will.
12-point lead now, the biggest on the evening for the Hurricanes. Lucius inside the Mitchell. Mitchell, spin move on the baseline, and he is fouled at the rim, drew the contact. Good spin move there by Mitchell as he was able to feel out CJ and spin to the baseline.
Foul on CJ.
He'll go to the line
Washington,
again.
his first team foul,
It's Tim
number
Mitchell,
3.
but it's
Tim
been
Mitchell at the
circus
line,
thus
shooting
far
2.
this evening for Mitchell at the free throw line.
It sure has. He's got, he was able to put one in off the glass. Missed one altogether to the left, wide left. See how he does here.
And he barely hits the rim. 45% free throw shooter on the season is Tim Mitchell. And he rattles home the second.
Tydron Beatty
back
taps
in the
in.
game.
He'll check to the bench as Tydron Beatty, as you mentioned, checks in, and Coach Paul McKeskey going back to the small ball once again.
If he has much of a choice, got to give Mitchell rest sometime.
Still haven't seen the big man, Cordell Gentil, for the Miracles, as Clint Scales was able to battle his way towards the rim as he forced Lucius into the reach, and Lucius is not happy as he's giving it to
Miracles
the
foul
officials
on
right
Corey
now,
Lucius, his first
trying to look for an
team foul, number
explanation
4.
and maybe an interpretation
Clint
to
Scales at the line,
a push-off
shooting
call.
the
He's
deuce.
Not gonna
stating
get it now.
that Clint Scales might have used his right arm to gain some space, as Clint Scales will go to the line for the first time this evening. Clint Scales misses the first. Clint Scales on the season, 70% free throw shooter, averaging just over 4 points. But the captain's been very good in the assist turnover ratio.
Sure
As he
has.
led the league in that particular category and averaged 7 assists on the season as he's able to rattle home the second. Still a 12-point lead, the largest on the evening for the Hurricanes, as Johnson III rattles home a
Melvin
three from the
Johnson
corner. You
for
can't
three.
allow that guy a standstill three from that distance. He's been very good.
Yeah, and he's got a super quick release. You see there, Watson wasn't that far back, but he was able to get, once he got that ball, he got it up quick. Watson wasn't able to get there in time to put a hand in the way.
And Johnson III, no slouch from beyond the arc, 40% on the season, leading the team in a beautiful teardrop in traffic is Clint Scales. So Clint Scales being a very aggressive offensively this evening.
He sure is, yeah. A couple of points in the paint now for him.
Story now battling between him and Zimmerman as
Clint Scales getting the fans.
Zimmerman did an
Offensive
outstanding
foul
job
on Miracles
defensively,
number
cutting
7,
off
Malik
Malik Story at the
his
rim and
first
forcing that
team foul,
offensive
number
foul.
5.
So a push-off call on Malik Story. He's not happy about it. Hits his first, team number 5 for the Miracles.
Halifax selling more into their game now.
Zimmerman fires again. That shot is short. Rebound by Johnson III. And a good foul in transition by Taquan Zimmerman.
Hurricane
And
foul
he'll go
on
to the bench
Zimmerman.
and get a break here, as it
His
looks
first
like
team
Antoine
foul,
Mason,
number 4.
Well, Zimmerman will stay, and Watson will go to the bench, and Antoine Mason will come in for him.
Halifax with a bit of small ball as well.
Leading their largest lead, 50-39 on the evening are the Hurricanes.
3-guard set.
1:10 left in the second quarter. Lucius off the pick and roll, and he turns it over. CJ, an outstanding job of stepping in the passing lane. Clinkscale's racing back the other way. Zimmerman inside, off the paint, no good. Excuse me, off the backboard. Mason with the second chance opportunity. He can't get it to go. As Malik Story cleans up the mess, so dodged a bullet defensively there by the Miracles. Story racing back the other way, and a reach-in call on Zimmerman.
Hurricane foul on
That'll be team number 5, and Zimmerman's
number 5.
number 2, excuse me, it's called on CJ Watson. It's his second, and it will remain team number 5 for the Hurricanes.
It's 10 offensive rebounds so far for the Canes. That's a great stat line to have at this point in the game, considering.
Story, hesitation, and he's met at the rim by Ronaldo. And it looked like a clean block at that attempt, but it looked like a little bit more body there as Malik Story will go to the line to shoot too.
His third.
Story able to split the defense and met at the rim by the 2 big men. As he was able to blow by, you can see in the replay, and it looked like it might have been on the arm. And that's on the CJ through the follow through.
Billy White taps in.
Malik Story's been a pretty reliable free throw shooter this season, if I'm not mistaken. Or sooner do I say it than he misses one.
And Malik Story rattles and misses the first. As you can see in that replay, the contact, and he misses the second. So an empty trip for Story, not helping the cause of getting back into this one and closing the gap on this Hurricane lead. As Mason unable to finish at the rim.
Looked like he wanted the foul call, but not going to get it.
Johnson III is in a lot of pain back underneath his own basket. As
Whistle gone.
Johnson III is totally down right now.
Hurricane foul on number
He's
14.
A lot of discomfort right now as
His second
teammate
foul, number
Russell
7,
Burr looking to
penalty
give him
on
a
that.
hand, but it looked like a lower body injury for
Yeah, I missed what happened.
Johnson
Corey
III.
Lucius at the line, shooting 2.
Taking his time to get to his feet as Lucius will go to the line to shoot 2. He knocks down the first.
See Zimmerman wearing the full sleeve shirt underneath the jersey.
It's totally drenched.
That's something I could never do.
Lucius, 12 points on the season, 75% free throw shooter, and he rattles home the second. Cuts the lead to 9 now.
That's how it'll end.
Billy will hold, and we are finished. 24 minutes in the books here. Game number 1
like it, the
in Atlantic Division
41,
semifinal.
your
Miracles
Halifax
trailing at the half,
Hurricanes
50-41 here at Scotiabank Center. So we'll step aside here for the halftime break as the Hurricanes able to battle back in that second quarter after trailing by 1, 22-21. But the Hurricanes did an outstanding job of getting back into this game and doing the things that have made them very successful as the number 1 seed going into these playoffs.
Yeah, that's right. They moving the ball around the paint. Like you said, they settled back into their game, looking for the open shot, getting some great open threes, getting some great play from Taquan Zimmerman, and as always, the offensive rebounds and the points in the paint.
So we'll step aside here for the halftime break. Stay with us. You're watching Halifax Hurricane basketball as they make their first step going back-to-back in the National Basketball League of Canada championship run. Blows out and forces him to put the ball on the floor. The high man for the Hurricanes and the high man on the evening is Taquan Zimmerman with 15. Just about to start here, and the Hurricanes with possession to start the third quarter. Canes come out with their original starting lineup. Nothing has changed. And the other way for the Miracles, nothing has changed as well as they start back with their lineup. Canes turn it over. And a turnover coming back the other way. Good sweep.
Great hands by C.J. Washington.
Mason pull up, shot short, and rebound by Mitchell as he battled CJ on that rebound. Hurricanes start the third quarter with Clint Scales, Washington, White, Mason, and Watson. Watson, the second leading scorer for the Hurricanes in the first 24 minutes with 10 points. And a good spin move as he was able to knock Washington out of the way as Tim Mitchell. Mitchell getting some quality minutes in the first 24 minutes for Coach Paul McKeskey.
He is only his second field goal, though, so far. Not sure if Washington actually took an elbow there, if he just was trying to sell it. But
Shots no good on the baseline there by Billy.
He looks like he's fine now, so we'll see how this progresses.
Bird with a beautiful take as he was able to get the kiss off the window. Bird was very good in the first 12 minutes, knocking down some shots from beyond the arc, 2 in all, as they went 3 for 7 in the quarter, the Miracles did. And it's a 5-point lead now for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, they started off hot, and then Bird almost disappeared during the second frame. Nice
Good
shot there.
jumper by CJ on the baseline, and CJ's got 6 on the evening. And Lucius coming back the other way, putting the pressure defensively on Clint Scales. Clint Scales call for the reach.
Number 1.
Excuse me, that is, looked like it was on Clint Scales, but they announced it, yeah, absolutely, it's on Clint Scales. It's his first, team number 1. 7-point lead for the Hurricanes. Story, pull up. Shot is too strong, rebound by Clint Scales.
Good job of Billy White to adjust the arc on that shot.
Billy thought about it, hesitation, kicked back out, swung into the corner to Mason. Mason fires, and bang, he connects from beyond the arc. So good ball movement in that half-court set. Unselfish basketball by Clint Scales as he hit a wide open Mason, and Mason knocks down his first triple on the evening. But coming back the other way is Johnson the third.
But like you said, it was good. Good unselfish basketball by Clint Scales. He was open at the top. Could have taken the 3 himself. Gave it to the more reliable three-point shooter. It was a great decision.
CJ turns it over, another turnover as the turnovers were piling up at a prolific rate in the first 24 minutes, double digits in all for the Hurricanes. They ended up with 12 turnovers in that first frame and giving him and surrendering 12 points off of those turnovers, and that's turnover number 13. Shot rattled in and out there by the Miracles. Coming back the other way, Mason tried his hand for back-to-back triples, no good. But back's rejected on the rim. Meeting at the rim there between Mitchell and Billy, as Mitchell was able to get that rejection. An outstanding defensive play there by the Miracles, and particularly individually by Tim Mitchell.
Yeah, it's a great play. Wasn't able to get to the rebound, but was still there and had the awareness to get a hand up and block that shot. Billy thought he had a free one.
And Lucius able to knock down that mid-range jumper. So back to a 5-point lead. Both of these teams trading blows here in the early going of the third period. Mason thought about it off the screen.
The mid-range jumper is not a weapon that's used as much as it used to be in basketball now, the way with sabermetrics and everything, kind of steering guys towards the 3 or into the paint.
Just as you mentioned that, Clint Scales was able to knock down a step-back 3, and that's hard to do from that distance. Clint Scales being a little bit more aggressive offensively tonight, probably more aggressively tonight offensively. We've seen him all season long. You can see the sense of urgency from the captain to be the leader offensively and be very good. He struggled a little bit in the early going in that first quarter with back-to-back turnovers, but ever since he's been very good distributing the basketball and finding his own offense.
Yeah, that's right. Not a guy who scores a lot of points a game, but you can see in the games when they do need someone to step up, as you've seen in the past, Cliff will be the guy, as you said, starts getting aggressive. He'll start cutting into the paint. He'll look for those shots, whereas normally he's happy to dish that ball to the open man.
Clint Scales, 5 points on the evening, 7 assists, and he's just at his average, his league high average per assist per game, as Washington rattled back down that jump shot, that mid-range game showing up in this third quarter for the Hurricanes.
It is, yeah.
As they are taking advantage of what the defense has given them.
That's right, and that's what you got to do, and that's what have done all season long, really. They're able to hold a 10-point lead.
And a tie up there on that screen between CJ and Mitchell. And it looks like it will be a blocking call. That call looked like it was on CJ. Nevertheless, it will be Miracle possession here on the baseline, as Malik Story will inbound it with 14 on the shot clock, and that's Billy's third. So Billy White called for the block there on the baseline. That's his third personal, team number 2. Lucius now going to work, backdoor to Bird. Bird is denied at the rim by Billy, but Billy didn't phase, those 3 personals didn't phase Billy to go up and force that shot off the backboard. As an outstanding defensive play on the help line, as Russell Bird was rejected at the rim. You're seeing the replay here, good backdoor cut, but Billy with the denial at the rim.
And that's a play a lot of the time you will see a guy get a foul on, trying to recover off that backdoor cut, but like you said, great job, good body control and awareness by Billy to get his hand up there and only get the ball.
Talking trash all the way down the court.
Yes, he was.
10-point lead for the Hurricanes. Billy, pull up. Jumper's too strong, put back is there. CJ can't get it, but Watson battling underneath the rim. Watson kicks it back out, swings it back though. Billy thought about it, trying to go to work on Story. Shot's no good. CJ with the easy putback. You can see the Miracles are struggling defensively, giving up 4 opportunities in that last trip down.
That's a lot of offensive boards. Bird thought he got a little bit of a push off in the last one there. Inconsequential.
Things coming undone now, but a good defensive play, stepping in and taking the charge is Russell Bird, as he was unable to alleviate the pressure because the Hurricanes had some major numbers coming back the other way.
Sure did.
Mason, you can see the replay, Mason unable to control his body as Russell Bird stepped in and gave up his body there just inside the restriction line.
Yep.
So good defensive play there by Russell Bird in transition when the Hurricanes had numbers.
Yeah, great. It's a smart defensive play. Guy with the Michigan State pedigree.
Mitchell misses everything. Rebounds corralled by Story. Shot clock dwindling. He's got to hurry. Forces it up, and he misses everything. So great defensive play on this trip down by the Hurricanes. Clint Scales, Mason, draw the double team, kicked out to CJ. CJ misses everything. Bailey battling, couldn't save it on the end line. And Bird come back the other way. Miracles with numbers. Bird with an ill-advised pass. Johnson the third thought about it. Hesitation inside, split the defense, and he drew the contact. And Johnson the third will go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, Moncton's looking a little bit out of sorts on their offensive sets here so far.
Halifax foul on Antoine Mason.
So the Miracles looking for spacing in their transition game along with their half-court set. Just trying to find those open looks that they got in that first quarter. But the Hurricanes, you got to give them credit. They've stepped up to the task. Mike Leslie called an early timeout in that first quarter. Right at the ship, they made the defensive adjustments, and thus far they've been making it very tough for the Miracles to get any type of easy looks.
Yes, they have. Halifax basically, they came ahead there early in the second quarter. They got a lead, and they really haven't looked back. And as you said, they're playing a little bit better defense. They're not giving them the looks that they were getting. You'd still like to see a few less turnovers, but at this point they've still got a 12-point lead, so they're comfortably ahead. But Moncton is a talented basketball team, and a 12-point lead I don't think is enough to be relaxing at this point. So Halifax is going to need to keep the pedal to the metal here.
Halifax shooting 44% on the evening from the field. They are 33% from the free throw line. There have only been 3 trips. I mean, the Miracles have been getting there at a better clip, only about 10 trips, but they're shooting 50%. But from downtown, they erased that early shooting woes, as they were at one point, they were at 10%, and it was like 1 for 10 from beyond the arc. But ever since then, That percentage has gone up, all on the strength of Taquan Zimmerman, as they are 9 for 23 from beyond the arc at 39%. But as you mentioned, 15 turnovers compared to the 7. Way too many turnovers for the Hurricanes at home, surrendering 12 points off of those turnovers. But the points in the paint relatively even there, 30 to 26. The bench scoring's been the difference. Pretty much non-existent bench for Coach Paul McKeskey and the Miracles, so only 11 with the Hurricanes with 23 combating there in that particular statistic. So if you look at the analytics, they pretty much are in favor for the Hurricanes, and the reason why they have a 12-point lead with 5:49 left in the third quarter.
And even that stat for Halifax, 23 points off the bench, that's actually low for them at this point. Usually, traditionally, they've got, they've got 62 points now. It's not uncommon for more than half of their points throughout a game to come from their bench. So
Johnson, the third, able to rattle home the first. 68% free throw shooter on the season. Led the team in scoring on the regular season at 19 points per game. And he rattles home the second. Johnson, the third, has 10 now on the evening. He's got to be good in this third quarter if they can get in within striking distance, a 10-point lead for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, they'd be wise to try to get Johnson the ball a bit more if you want to bring him back in this game. Nice finish.
Good two-man game, big to big between him and Watson as CJ gets it to go, rattles it home. CJ has 10 on the evening, putting him in double digits.
Gives him a double-double, as a matter of fact. He's got 12 and 10 now.
Johnson, the third, with a step-back three.
It's the guy they're going to have to lean on.
And he's very good from that distance, 40% on the season, amongst the league leaders in that particular category. Zimmerman firing now, first action in the third quarter. Shots rattled around, corralled there by Clinkscales. Behind the back to Watson, inside the CJ contact count.
Great ball movement by Halifax.
Outstanding ball movement in that second chance opportunity. So the inefficient rebounding on the defensive side for the Miracles coming back to bite them, as you can see in the replay, as Watson was able to draw up Mitchell and open up that gap, and CJ with the left-handed finish through the contact, and he'll go to the line to complete the three-point play. So CJ playing very well in this third quarter, gets the rebound, no block, bangs off the window, and you have to be sick right now if you're Coach Paul McKeskey, seeing that type of effort defensively, not rebounding. And that's the second time in this ball game we have seen that particular type of play.
Yeah, you can see Tim Mitchell and Tyrone Watson got tangled up underneath, basically eliminated each other from the block, which allowed that ball to get out there. Tydron Beatty.
And Tydron Beatty checks into the game. We got Tydron Beatty in the public address announcer. It's called it Beatty. We got people telling us it's Tydron Beatty. The coach is telling me it's Tydron Beatty, so I'm going with Beatty.
I'm going to go with Beatty if that's what the coach says.
I'm not going to brutalize his name any further. Johnson, the third, shots no good from beyond the arc. His last touch and out of bounds, no touch, excuse me, and that'll be a team rebound for the Hurricanes. Missed opportunity for the Miracles. Miracles down by 13, 4:21 left here in the third quarter. Miracles going back to small ball here as Billy barrels in the lane, and it looks like Russell Bird will be called for the block. Bird not happy about it. Excuse me, and it looked like it was called on 33. They're putting 33 on the board, but Tim Mitchell isn't in the game. So they might want to correct that. And it looks like unofficially, it looks like Tim Mitchell
number 55, Russell Bird,
has his fourth, and he's got to be pretty upset, but I don't see no emotion coming from the bench, but they correct it, so it is on Russell Bird. Good alley-oop and finish at the rim. Lob City in a sea of hands. Clintscale's able to connect with Billy, and that's the second time this evening we've seen that particular alley-oop play, as Billy had the smaller man on his back and he was able to finish at the rim.
Yeah, defensively that was a mismatch. It's a good job of Clintscale's cueing into that.
Story no good. Can't answer offensively. You got to think that Coach McKeskey's looking for a timeout if the Hurricanes were able to be successful offensively in this trip down.
I would say so.
Zimmerman fires a dagger. Shot's no good.
Canes
Kept
with
alive
another
there by
offensive board.
Washington. Another second chance opportunity in many of trips in this third quarter for the Hurricanes. They're dominating the offensive boards. Miracles continuing to struggle defensively in the rebound category. Lucius, though,
That's tough
did an
beat by
outstanding
Lucius.
job of
Sure
getting
did.
it, turning it over, and pit-pocketing Clintscales, and that's not an easy task.
No, it's not. That was great man on defense there. Clintscales really couldn't get around him. Lucius was right in his back pocket.
So a 15-point lead with 3:08 left in the third quarter. A wholesale of changes here for Coach Paul McKeskey and the Miracles as Kearney checks back in. Along with, for the first time, Tyrell Tate, and the hammer with the slam. Coming off the screen is Melvin Johnson III getting up.
Sure did. That was a great finish.
They need a whole lot more of those finishes here,
Yes, they do.
as they're down 13 points in this third quarter. Watson, blow by, kicks it out to Washington. Shot is too strong off the backboard. Billy stays with it. Billy through the contact, and
Great
he'll go to the
basketball.
line to shoot two. And that's what you give up when you play small ball. The smaller man in Tyrell Tate, unable to block out Billy White on the baseline.
That's right.
Team
And
foul number 5.
just look at the stat I'm looking at right now. Offensive rebounds for
Billy
Halifax,
White at the line,
17,
shooting
for
the
Moncton,
deuce.
2. It is hard to win a basketball game with that kind of a deficit in offensive rebounding.
Second chance opportunities have been coming at a furious pace, in particular in this third quarter for the Hurricanes. Billy knocks down the first, and he completes his trip to the line, knocking down both. Back up to a 15-point lead. Beatty going to work on Watson. Can't get it to the rim as Watson was able to force him away from the basket. Outstanding defensive play there individually by Tyrone Watson. Clintscales swings it to Watson. He tries to get it inside to Washington as a battle was ensuing on the baseline between him and Brandon Kearney. Kearney in total disbelief as he's in
Letting the
the
ref
face
know.
of the official,
His
Manny
second.
States, as
Team foul number
Russell
6.
Bird will check to the bench as Theo Davis checks back for the second time this evening for the Miracles. Oh my goodness, a no-look pass on the baseline was almost connected between Zimmerman and Washington.
Would have been a nice play if he
Miracles
finished it.
dodged the bullet there. Beatty's shot's too strong, rattles in and out. You can see there's just a lid now on the rim for the Miracles. They can't find any type of offense, either by the way of their half-court sets or their transition game.
Yeah, they're not getting a whole lot of breaks this quarter.
And you gotta think that things are going well when Billy White rattles home a shot from beyond the arc.
Sir, it's not his MO.
Billy rattling home that three ball. 75-57. Lead continuing to widen here for the Hurricanes. And Cox and Bowen check in for the Canes as Watson and Washington will go to the bench and get a break along with Joey Haywood checking in.
Halifax has 2 guys now in double-double. C.J. Washington with 16 and 13. Billy's got 10 and 10.
Kearney can't find his range from beyond the arc, and another rebound by Billy. So the only starter on the court right now for Coach Mike Leslie and the Hurricanes is Billy White. The reserves, Zimmerman, Bowen, Cox, Haywood
Miracles foul
for
on Terrell
the
Tate.
Miracles. Johnson
His
the
second
third
team
not
foul,
asking
number
for a
7,
substitution.
penalty
He's
in
trying to
effect. Malik Story tapping in.
provoke
from
that from happening, but he'll go to the bench as Malik Story checks in for him. Tyrell Tate, Tadron Beatty, and Theo Davis
Taquan Zimmerman
and Brendan
about to
Kearney.
make his
It's going to
second.
take some time for me to get that Beatty down, as we're calling him. Pretty much been calling him Tadron Beatty for most of his career.
Yeah.
As Zimmerman was able to knock down both, and the largest lead on the evening, 20-point lead now, as the Hurricanes are in full control here in this third quarter.
Smart, I think smart move by Coach Leslie as well to bring out the starters, leave the reserves on, but keep Billy in, so you've still got that. You still got one of your leaders, your main guy, out there just to kind of guide the troops, essentially. But resting the other guys, as you've got, it's a long haul. It's going to be a long playoffs.
Game number 1 in the best of 5 here at Scotiabank Center. The number 1 seed, the Hurricanes, versus the 4 seed in the Moncton Miracles. Beatty racing back the other way.
Zimmerman got the foul there, I think.
Reaching foul in transition. A good foul, not
Halifax
giving
foul
Beatty
on
that
Zimmerman.
opportunity at an easy bucket.
His third.
As the Miracles are struggling in this third quarter to find their
Checking in
offense.
for Halifax, Ronaldo Dixon.
42.8 left as Ronaldo's checking in for a Billy. As Billy will go to the bench for the remainder of this third quarter, and we think pretty much in the early going of the fourth as well. Beatty, pull up, and it's knocked away, but he's fouled on the reach as Anthony Cox. 20-point lead, 34.3 seconds left in the third quarter.
Animated
His
response
first
from
team foul
from
number
Anthony
6.
there.
Tied rest
Game
between
number
the
2
Lions
goes
shooting
Sunday
2.
afternoon here at Scotiabank Center between these two teams. Beatty rattles home the first.
Good on
And
2.
Tydron knocks down the second, 14 points per game on the season, a 67% free throw shooter. 18-point lead, just under 30 and counting here in the third quarter. Hurricanes in full command of game number 1.
Yes, they are. Haven't looked back since getting the lead early in the second quarter.
Dixon, he'll try his hand at 3. Bang! And no stranger from beyond the arc is Ronaldo Dixon. 43% from beyond the arc on the season. The big man can't shoot it from that distance. Kearney answers back the other way, though, with the kiss off the window. And that'll do it. 3 quarters in the books. 19-point lead for the Hurricanes. A very impressive offense and defensive display by the number 1 seed in the Atlantic Division.
Yeah, especially this quarter was really a really good showing for them. When you're getting, as you said earlier, when you're getting threes from Billy White, when you're getting threes from Ronaldo, albeit he's got a really good 3-point percentage. He doesn't take a whole lot of them, but it's when you're getting points that way from those guys, things are going well for them.
That's the percentage and the analytics going on the side of the Hurricanes in the first 3 quarters. So you mentioned at the end of that third quarter, game number 2 going Sunday afternoon here at Scotiabank Center. Game number 3 will go Wednesday night, May the 10th at 7 p.m. at the Moncton Coliseum, and if necessary, game number 4, Friday, May the 12th at 7 at the Moncton Coliseum. And if necessary, game number 5 in this best of 5.
I can't hear
right
you.
back here at Scotiabank Center. Sunday,
Donuts.
May the 14th at
Timbits.
2 p.m. tip-off time.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the joys of being getting that first seed finish. You get
Cheesy crunches, too.
the home advantage, at least for the first 2 rounds.
Peanuts.
Both of these teams waiting on the winner of the other semifinal in the Atlantic Division between the St. John Riptide and the
Pink
Island
popcorn?
Storm. The Island Storm able to capture lightning in a bottle last night at Harbor Station, able to even the series up at 1 game apiece.
I don't
going
know.
back to the Eastlink Center for game number 3.
I think that's going to be a great series. Those are 2 really good basketball teams. I've always enjoyed watching the Island Storm play when they come here. They've got a really talented crew of dudes. Obviously, St. John does.
Oh my God.
They've given Halifax fits a few times. So,
Twizzlers?
that's gonna be,
Twizzlers?
Oh
my God, that was awesome.
I would imagine we'll go down to the wire.
Number 2 and number 3 seed battling it out. They'll continue their semifinal on the weekend at the Eastlink Center. We're here in game number 1 between the number 1 and number 4 seed. a matchup that favors the Halifax Hurricanes, particularly in their head-to-head matchup. 8-1 on the season, the only loss coming on the road at the Moncton Coliseum. The Miracles did an outstanding job in the last week of the season, able to knock off the Cape Breton Highlanders and secure that last and fourth spot in the Atlantic Division.
Yep, they earned
Now,
it.
if the Highlanders were here in the number 4 spot, it would be a pretty good matchup. I would say it would pretty be 50-50 between these two teams, because the only team that were able to come in Scotiabank Center and knock off the Halifax Hurricanes twice, and it was back-to-back, were the Cape Breton Highlanders.
Yeah, that's right. They seem to have their number there at some point, at that point in the season. We have there.
So we have a
Push
legal
up.
screen to
Legal
start this
screen.
fourth quarter.
Halifax foul on Anthony
As
Cox.
Tyrell
His
Tate was
second
able
team
to
foul, number 1.
get himself in good defensive position. So a good start here to the fourth for the Miracles. Miracles trailing by 19. Kearney, blow by, and he finishes at the rim as Cox was too late, as he was able to get Zimmerman with the left hand and the right hand finish at the rim. So good start to the fourth for the Miracles. Miracles going with Tate, Beatty, Story, Davis, and Kearney. For the Hurricanes, it's Zimmerman, Cox, Dixon, Haywood, and
Foul
Bowen.
on Theo Davis.
It looks like
See, Davis and
His
Cox got
first
tied up
team
underneath there.
foul,
Colin.
number 1.
On
that
Davis.
personal on Davis, team number 1, and it's Davis' first personal on the evening. Knocked out of bounds there as Kearney with the reach on Zimmerman. It will remain Hurricanes possession, 8 seconds on the shot here in the early going of the fourth quarter. Halifax in full command in game number 1.
Ill-advised pass there.
Very ill-advised pass out of that inbound by Ronaldo. Story, blow by, inside to Davis. Davis in traffic, he barrels down and he barrels through Zimmerman. So Zimmerman giving up his body. Not only has he
Offensive
been a
foul
very
on
good shooter tonight,
Theo Davis.
he
His
displayed
second
his defensive
team
prowess
foul,
as well
number
on that
2.
trip down.
That's right. Did a good job, A, knowing when to come down and help in the paint, and B, getting his feet set, taking that charge.
Yeah, stepping in the lane there and giving up his body for the betterment of the team. As you can see there, just inside the restriction line is Taquan Zimmerman. Mix up a confusion between him and Ronaldo. Back the other way is Beatty, and he finished at the rim. And
Moncton
Coach Mike Leslie has seen enough.
for
Yes,
Tyrell
he
Wants to
Beatty.
call a timeout to
Timeout
regroup
Halifax.
and make some adjustments. Good run here. It's a 15-point lead
The winning
now.
number of tonight's 50-50
Moncton's
draw
playing really aggressive
is
defense.
ticket number
For the Hurricanes.
337-673.
And they're playing
If you
pretty
hold
tight.
the winning ticket, you've
They're
got
not
10
letting
minutes
this
to
one
bring
get
it to the
away.
merchandise
They
outlet.
want
Lots of
to keep it
basketball
in the
left.
game. Yes, sir.
Or we're
Lots
going
of
to have to
basketball
draw
left.
another number.
We mentioned several
That
times,
number
I did
again
in particular,
is 337-673.
said the Hurricanes were in full command of this game. Now they were in full command when they were doing things right and playing basketball the right way and not turning it over. But a pile of turnovers thus far for the Hurricanes, and that has hurt them.
Yes.
Take
Any
a quick
game-
look at the stat line. They're up to almost 20 turnovers. That's almost double to their opponent. 19 in all and 8 for the Miracles. Miracles taking good care of the basketball, but they're not getting quality shots, and
right.
shots are not dropping. In particular in that third quarter, they struggle to find their way offensively.
That's right. And as a coach, regardless of if you've got a lead or not, regardless of if you win or not, when you have a game where your team has 20 turnovers and could very well finish with more than that, that's not a positive. That's something you're going to want to go back to the drawing board and fix in the next practice, because that's going to come back and bite you.
Yes, almost 20 turnovers, 19 in all, and 18 points off of those turnovers. So an early push here in the fourth quarter displayed a pushback and a not giving up are the Moncton Miracles. It's this team trying to do the unthinkable and knock off the Halifax Hurricanes at home, where it's been a relatively an easy cruise all season long between these two teams.
That's right. Essentially, pull that off. You've stolen the home court advantage from Halifax, which is very important in a best 3 of 5 game series.
And that'll be huge. And definitely an upset if they're able to come back in this one and pull it out. Haywood, pull up. Jumper is short. A race to the ball. Story comes up with it in transition. Gives it to Beatty, and that rejected off the backboard by Billy. Outstanding defensive play there by Billy White.
By Joey as well, did a good job of not giving up on the ball. Chased it the whole way down.
Absolutely.
Really was able to get his hands in there, and that's really what gave Billy the time to catch up and make that block.
Was able to bother his opponent and not give him that easy look, an easy path to the basket. Zimmerman fires for three, shots short, no good. Rattled around, a second chance opportunity. Zimmerman's cooling off here in the second half. Getting the same looks, just not able to knock it down as Zimmerman. But a second chance opportunity for the Canes. Kearney in his hand in the passing lane, and a goat standing defensive play and hustle there by Brandon Kearney.
Tim Mitchell.
As Bowen was unable to corral that ball, and it would get off the sideline, and it would be another turnover. So we're at 20 now.
For Halifax.
And it's, you know, especially this third quarter, a lot of these errors, you can say that a lot of these turnovers are forced. Oh, speaking of forced turnovers, that's a
and that's just a mental breakdown right there.
That's the word I'm looking for, yeah.
Mental complete mental breakdown as a inbound violation on the Miracle. So a missed opportunity goes by the wayside to cut into this lead. Still 15-point deficit for the Miracles.
Pretty much not much Coach McKeskey could say there. He just went silent on that.
80-65, Hurricanes lead. Haywood, teardrop, and he is harmed, and he'll go to the line as he was decked to the floor. Haywood will go to the line to shoot two.
Miracles.
80-65, 9:22 left in the fourth quarter. Hurricanes lead.
Team foul, number 3. Joey Haywood.
Halifax got to go back to getting aggressive. It was a nice take by Joey. He was able to draw the foul, and that's the kind of way they're going to want to have to play this game. That's one of the things as a basketball team, when the other team is playing you tight defensively, when they're playing that aggressive defense, you've got to try to use that against them, get those opportunities to make them start hacking you, fouling you, getting yourself to the line. So good job by Joey Haywood of doing that, taking advantage of that aggressive.
Haywood perfect at the line, and that trip down. 82-65, 9:17 and counting in the fourth quarter. Kearney off the screen, takes it, hesitation, and he'll go to the line to shoot two as Cox unable to keep his feet. Draws the contact on Anthony Cox, and Brandon Kearney will shoot two.
His third, team foul number 2, Brandon Kearney.
Cox third personal, team number 2. Kearney, 80% free throw shooter on the season. Averaged 13 points per game for the Miracles, and he stays perfect from the free throw line. Good looking stroke from Brandon Kearney. No hesitation there, Matt.
Nope.
82-67 now. 9 minutes left in the fourth. Dribble handoff, Haywood. Haywood thought about it. Teardrop again through a lot of contact off the window. No call coming. Hayward's bewildered coming back the other way. Can't believe that there was no call. Beatty, step back, shot short, rebound, kicked around, and Haywood comes up with it. He's racing back the other way with numbers. Billy, hand off to Cox, and the one-handed thunder. Pathetic grim rocker with the one-handed jam as Cox in transition. As you can see, that's what they like to do, are the Hurricanes in transition. When they get the ball, they are not selfish with it. They like to move it around and give it to the best player with the best opportunity to get the goal at the basket.
Yeah, and that was a great pass in the paint by Billy. Fans loving it.
Billy giving up a good shot for a better one. Haywood, not a lot of contact again, call not coming. Haywood just can't believe his luck in the last two trips down for him offensively.
Yeah.
It looked like there was some contact, none coming.
Hurricane
coming back the other way are the Miracles.
His fourth, team foul number 3.
And that is the fourth personal on Anthony Cox and team number 3.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what the first time down when Joey wanted the call if he got a foul or not, but that time sure did look like he got hit, but it's not going to get the call. Ref's happy to let him play.
Story now, and a blown dunk at the rim as Tim Mitchell
Anthony
wanted the
Cox
contact
says, "Not
called.
in my
Contact on
hands."
Clint Scales, fights
Cliff
through it,
Quick
and finishes at the rim.
Nice finish.
As Malik Story was looking for maybe an offensive call, not sure why, because it looked like he initiated the contact, as you can
See
see.
it here in the replay.
And I think he wanted the call. He wanted the foul call so he could stop the play.
Yeah,
Call didn't
not gonna
come.
happen.
Officials let him to play through it. And here we stand, and still a 19-point lead for the Hurricanes as Coach Paul McKeskey is forced to call a timeout to talk things over. So things not going away here for the Miracles. Just as things starting to look like they were on the up and up, they came crashing down quite quickly in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, it did, and they came out hot in the fourth quarter. They were playing really tough defense, but like you just said, it's kind of things not in their favor right now. So probably a smart call by Coach McKeskey. Still got time left in the game, especially with the shooters that he's got. Get things back on the rails. All right, so it looks like this is over. Bird will run over to take the inbounds.
So coming back out of this timeout,
We got Cox, Bowen, Haywood, Billy, and Clint Scales on the court.
for the Hurricanes, and for the Miracles, it's Bird, Tate, along with Kearney, Mitchell, and Story. As a good take there by Brandon Kearney as he's able to get it to go off the back.
Brandon Kearney.
86-69. Just over 7 minutes to go in the fourth.
Running out of time. Oh.
Clint Scales looked for the contact, was unable to draw it on Kearney. Kearney did an outstanding job at avoiding that contact as Clint Scales missed everything. Shot clock violation and another turnover for the Hurricanes. Mitchell threw the contact and counted.
Basket
Good
counts
two-man
for Tim
game there
Mitchell,
on the pick and
who
roll
hit the line to shoot
for the
one.
Miracles as Mitchell will go to the line to complete the three-point play.
Halifax foul on Anthony Cox, his fifth.
Anthony
team
Cox's
foul.
fifth personal.
Number 4.
It's a lot of fouls.
Team
for a
number
limited time.
4.
Doesn't seem to be too happy with it. Going to talk to the ref.
As he makes his way towards the bench as CJ checks back for the Hurricanes.
Washington's had a great game so far today. Double-double.
Mitchell rattling home that free throw. It seems that he's cleaned it up from that particular distance. Off to a very rough start in his first attempt, missed everything.
He's seen a lot of good Mitch. Great.
Haywood
Joey
rattling
Haywood.
home the
Joey
jumper.
Haywood
Foot on the
for
line
2.
from distance. Nevertheless, he's able to get it to go. Kearney checking back the other way. Brandon Kearney's starting to heat up for the Miracles.
Brandon
Keeping them
Kearney.
close here, 88-74.
14 points. I mean, it seems like a lot, but when you got a team like Moncton that can shoot the three and hit the three, you know,
You're
that
never
lead's
out of
still
the
not
game.
safe.
Yeah, you're never out of the game here. Haywood, tricky dribble and a blow by as Kearney and Haywood are going back and forth. It looks like a one-on-one competition between these two players.
Sure does.
Good hesitation, a beautiful kiss off the window by Haywood. Tyrell Tate, though, answers for the Miracles. Still a 14-point lead. Haywood, pull up, fires, and he
Joey
knocks it down. Joey Haywood is definitely on
Haywood.
fire right now for the Hurricanes.
It's Fans always enjoy.
Miracles no answer defensively for Haywood. And a good foul in transition as the Hurricanes had numbers in that run-out.
Personal foul on Brandon
Bowen
Kearney.
and Clint
Fourth
Scales
team foul.
like they had numbers coming back the other way on a 2-on-1.
Really
Corey Lucius taps in
Good
for
foul
Moncton.
transition there by Brandon Kearney. That's his fourth, team fourth. Russell Bird checking back in along with Corey Lucius for the Miracles. Bowen swings at the White. White to Clint Scales.
Still some space there.
Fires. Bang.
Whoa.
Connects. Clint Scales, his second on the evening. Clint Scales
Downtown.
finding his range from beyond the arc. Bird fires back the other way, misses everything. Mitchell with the rebound, second chance opportunity. Kearney driving. He was able to draw the foul on Bowen. It will
Hurricane
remain
foul on Bowen.
Miracles possession,
His
19
second
on the
team
shot,
foul,
4:50
number
left
5.
in the fourth. 19-point deficit for the Miracles. It's just been an uphill battle since the second quarter as they continue to try to stay close here in
Hurricane
this fourth.
foul on Joey Haywood.
Haywood call for the reach.
His first team foul, number 6. Tyrell
His
Tate
first
at the line,
team number
shooting
6
two.
as Tyrell Tate will step up to shoot 2.
Takes that one.
He
Gets
makes
them
the
both.
second.
Clean Scales tied up Lucius.
Yeah, Lucius and Clink Scales having words. Stoppage and play here as official Manny states, having words with both of them, telling them to clean things up. As Darryl Long leaps off the bench for the Miracles as Russell Bird will go to the bench. Not too happy is Russell Bird. Bird might be playing a little hurt as he turned his ankle on one of those 3-ball attempts in the first quarter. Fighting through it though.
He is, yeah, and he didn't come off right away when he did it, so if he wasn't feeling it then, I bet he's probably feeling it a little bit now at the very least.
Clint Scales. Haywood fires. Bang, and Haywood is on fire right now in this fourth quarter.
Fans absolutely loving
It's been
that.
the Joey Haywood show in the fourth for the Hurricanes as he knocked down the jumper from beyond the arc. Kearney tries to answer, kicked around, second chance opportunity coming for the Miracles. Lucius fires for 3. Bang, and he connects. So the Miracles trying to stay
Lucius
close in
for
this
3.
one. Still a double-digit deficit,
Big time.
17 to be exact. Can't afford to trade baskets right now are the Miracles. Haywood, that's a heat check right there, and that shot comes up short.
He was being played pretty tight there as well.
Good closeout defensively there by Tyrell Tate. Kearney fires his hand at 3, and he rattles it home. So we're down to
Brandon
14
Kearney.
again. It's been hovering around 14 points, this deficit for the Miracles, pretty much since the third quarter, halfway through. Bowen thought about pull-up. Clint Scales stop inside,
Great
and Billy with
hesitation.
the reverse layup. As you mentioned, a beautiful
Billy
hesitation dribble by
White.
Clint Scales, stopped on a dime and was able to find Billy underneath the basket. Kearney fires again for 3. Shots no good, rebound by CJ. He cleans up the garbage. So 100 to 84, just under 3 minutes to go. Quarter number 4, game number 1 between these two teams in a best-of-5 series. Bowen fires for 3. The shot's too strong. Kicked around. Tate can't come up with it. He does. He outduels CJ and comes back the other way. Tate in transition.
They're going to give him, no, they won't give him a continuation on that one.
No
They don't.
continuation as he is fouled on the reaching call, and it looks like it's going to be on
Hurricane
Joey
foul
Haywood.
on Joey Haywood. His second.
Haywood's
7th
third.
team foul.
Team number 7, and
Taquan
Joey
Zimmerman,
Haywood would get a
Ronaldo Dixon,
great round of
and Kenny
applause as he heads
Ochino
towards the bench
tap in
along with
for
Billy
Halifax.
White. and Cliff Clidscales. And checking back for the Hurricanes is Zimmerman, Kenny Otino for the first time, and Ronaldo.
And Joey's always going to he's always going to have a lot of fans here in Halifax. Former St. Mary's University basketball star, CIS record holder. So anytime he takes the court, he always hears it from the fans.
Yes, the British Columbia native, the All-Canadian, King Handles he goes by on his Twitter handle and social media handles. He's been very good in this fourth quarter. He put the team on his back and pretty much has kept this lead where it is at 15.
They're getting great play off their bench. Taquan Zimmerman, Joey. Good role playing by Ronaldo. And that's what it comes down to usually. And in this game, really, among other things, Halifax just has a deeper bench than Moncton. And they've been able to capitalize off of that.
Yeah, bench scoring has been pretty much doubled, almost triple for the Hurricanes compared to the
Moncton
Miracles.
foul on Darryl Wong.
A lot of turnovers, though. They need to clean that up and address that for game number 2.
Sure do.
If they're going to be successful and take a stranglehold on this lead heading back to Moncton for game number 3 on Wednesday, May the 10th at the Moncton Coliseum.
And regardless of who they see in the next round, whether it's St. John or whether it is the Island Storm, you're not going to get away with that many, with that many turnovers.
Yeah, ball securities and assist turnover ratio is going to be huge going forward. Still a lot of basketball left, though, in this particular series, as you mentioned, between these two teams in this best of 5. So they need definitely address the turnovers in the second game.
Yep.
100 to 85, 147 left in the fourth quarter. Commanding lead in full control in the second half of the 24 for the Hurricanes. Pretty much strangled away that command in the early going in that third quarter as the Miracles struggled to find their shooting range, when able to knock down shots, and on the other side, the Hurricanes were able to be very successful offensively. And they were doing a good job defensively as well as they widened the gap to start the fourth quarter, and it's just been a struggle offensively this second half for the Miracles.
Yes, it has.
So,
and that's why you don't want to, obviously, at no time in the game do you want to have to give up a large lead, but definitely going
Third
into
personal
the fourth quarter,
foul
final frame, you want to try to close
on
the game up as much as you can,
16
because
foul.
those small mistakes that you make in the fourth quarter get magnified when you're losing by that much.
always magnified, and they always come to the forefront when it comes to looking down the stat line and trying to figure out where things went wrong.
That's right.
Second chance and third chance opportunities have been killing the Moncton Miracles in this second half. Outstanding job by the Hurricanes getting after it, getting those opportunities. Wong knocks down the 3-ball. And that's Darryl Wong's first points of the evening with that 3-ball.
And that's going to have to be the recipe for them. Less than a minute left. Whenever you get the ball, you're going to have to put it up. Hope for those.
You need a plethora of stops right now.
Sure do.
Right now, the clock is not on their side. They can't afford to let this clock dwindle down. They got to put some defensive pressure on. But that's not their MO, is Moncton. Latino shot clock violation, lost track of where the shot clock was, didn't get any help from the fans or his teammates on that possession.
No, fans just enjoying the lead at this point. Didn't give them the countdown.
So we're going to hold this one out, but it doesn't look like Lucius is going to, as Kearney fires from 3, shot's no good. As Bowen corrals the rebound. Difference about 10 seconds on the game.
What do you think of game 1, Halifax?
Turnover, though, by Zimmerman. Kearney back the other way, and a projection, but a foul at the rim by CJ. CJ wasn't giving up any charity dunks.
No, sir, he was not. No easy points.
But you like to see that playoff basketball at its finest.
His fourth.
That's right.
No easy opportunities despite where the score is.
Yeah, well, clearly Moncton wasn't giving up, right? Got in, got the steal.
You gotta like that. You gotta like to see that. There's no give up
Always want to see
by the Hurricanes.
competition.
Yeah, as Washington was meeting Kearney at the rim. It looked like Kearney was ready to throw a highlight dunk down with that one-handed hammer.
Washington said no, no. There you go.
Kearney rattles out the second. We're going to hold it out this time. Let's try this again.
That doesn't look like Moncton's going to give on it.
Now the
Yes,
double
they
team
are not.
coming, and they're looking for the violations and a reaching call by Kearney. 189,
Miracles foul on
14.2
Brandon
seconds
Kearney.
left. And Taquan
15th
Zimmerman will
foul,
go to the
number
line
7.
to shoot two.
Taquan
Zimmerman and an
shooting
outstanding
2.
first 24 minutes. 5 for 8 from beyond the arc.
Yep.
15 points in all. Led all scores after 24 minutes, but cooled off a little bit in the second half. But to be honest, he really wasn't needed.
No, he wasn't. And you're right, yeah, he cooled off. But he had given them enough cushion that permitted him, you know, if he
His
had to
hot
cool off,
shooting
that's
was
right.
able to put them in the lead in a comfortable 9-point lead after 24 minutes, and it just progressed even further in the third quarter where they're able to knock down
Brandon
shots
Kearney.
and get stops.
And with that,
As Ronaldo will
game
hold it
one
out.
is in
That'll
the
do it
books.
here at Scotiabank Center as
The final for
Hurricanes
game one
defeat
of
the
the
Moncton Miracles
2017
in game number
playoffs
1
goes
of the best of
our
5
way.
in
The
the
Moncton
Atlantic
Miracles
Division.
91. Pure
Semi-final
Halifax
between
Hurricanes
number 1 seed
1,
Hurricanes and the number 4
102.
Miracles, 102-91.
Yeah, tough game for Moncton on this one. They started out hot. Looked like it was going to be a very tight game, but Halifax was able to kind of regroup, and especially in that first half behind the shooting of Taquan Zimmerman, gave them that comfortable lead, and they were able really to play their game and close out this one with a solid lead, solid win.
So that's game number 1 in the books. Game number 2 goes Sunday afternoon here at Scotiabank Center at 2 o'clock tip-off time. So that'll do it here. For Matt Elliott, I'm Vince Williams. The Halifax Hurricanes win 102-91. I'm saying so long from Scotiabank Center.
Good night.
Thanks for tuning in.